Oh man.
And we're back.
Testing. 1, 2, man. Oh
Let's
man.
get it. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Dog. This
How you
what's
feel?
this the third program for you today, dog?
Oh yeah, we on a triple header right now. Two, 4, and 5, baby. We going 3 hours longer. Let's go.
Dog, you out here getting it in, brother.
No,
That's
you don't understand. If we win this game Sunday, I might stream until daylight comes back. I'm not joking, bro.
bruh. I believe it wholeheartedly, dog. I believe it wholeheartedly. I gotta
Oh,
make sure the
man.
stream is on. Hold on. Cause they I
We
had a I had a copyright joint the other day, bruh. And I was like, oh no, we can't get to
Oh
have the
no,
copyright.
YouTube. And you always review and dispute them because they just be finding things. They oh my god, YouTube. Hey, they be wilding, man.
Bro, I had streamed because we got gaming now.
Mhm.
So I had streamed an episode. Well, no, I'm sorry. I streamed Madden. And in the Madden menus where you picking the stuff and they playing music. You
Yep.
know what I'm
Oh my
saying?
god, they get you. Like when I'm walking around the stadium, if there's music on in the back room, they'll get you. They find ways to just get you all the time, bro. You have to be very careful in these copyright streets, man.
I'm like, bro, that's not fair. All I'm doing is living. And I'm hanging out, minding my business, and they doing that. Okay, all right, yeah, it's live. Bet. Oh yeah. Yeah, tweet that out, bro. We gonna get this thing popping.
Yeah, we got this thing tweeted out, baby. Let's talk about some playoff Washington Commanders
Play,
football.
playoffs, dog. What? I'm smiling, bro. I'm grinning from ear to ear, man.
You suited
Playoffs,
and
dog.
booted. You got your colors on. I got my
Dog,
colors on. We
all
ready to go,
weekend,
man.
bro. I just made a determination that I'm gonna rock it all weekend.
Sleep
Bye,
in it.
baby. My wife is leaving to go pick up our daughter. So we
Mhm.
probably should hurry up because once she get back, bro,
Oh yeah,
it's a
she's the
wrap.
main. She's the main character.
She's giving that main character energy, bruh. She definitely goes on the YouTube and goes on my profile and finds the video so she can get to her part. And she be like, "That's me." I be like, "Yeah, that's why when I be telling you to talk, you should just talk. Like, get on
Superstar.
here and talk."
Superstar. Yeah, my daughter is so much fun until I tell her to come say hi. And she's like, hi. She don't ever
Right.
come on and say
Being
hi.
shy. Don't be shy.
Mhm.
Oh, that's right, Rio. Make sure you tell the guests, man. We got a special guest today, man.
Special guest in the
Yeah.
building, former Washington Redskin in the building. Let's get after it, man.
Yeah. Let's hit this intro and then we'll get the program started.
Run it.
What up, world? Welcome back to another episode of the Afternoon Kick. I'm your host, Darian D.H. Williams, with my partner in crime, Rio Robinson.
Yeah.
Rio, hold on a second, bro. Last time I checked, bro, the season was over last week, bro. But wait, there's more. We have a playoff game this Sunday. Rio,
So,
come on, dog. What's
not,
going on with the world, bro?
not
It's
only do we
fire.
have
It's
yep,
fire on the West Coast. It's freezing down south, and we're in the playoffs, bro. What?
not only are we in the playoffs, today was announced we have 4 second team all pro players, the most all pro guys we've had since 91, and 3 of them were brought here as free agent acquisitions. Shout out to Adam Peters and Adam We Trust, man.
Rio, this is crazy, bro. Like literally, bro. What is life? I texted you this week, and I was just like, bro, I cannot believe that this is our life now, bro. Like
It is.
we're enjoying football into January, and it's not college football either. It is professional football, and it's our team that's playing, bro. Like,
It's amazing. What a time to be alive as a Washington fan. Like dead ass. Like I don't want to hear anymore about superstitions, cursed uniform. I don't want people feeling like, oh, we're cursed because all of ESPN picked us or all of
yeah,
NFL Network picked us. Welcome to your new lives as Washington fans. Kick your feet up, get a cigar out because this is going to be normalcy going forward here, baby. We're good now.
bruh, it's amazing. And with that being said, Rio, I said, you know what? Since this is the first playoff episode of the Afternoon Kick where we go live for your drive at 5:07 p.m. on the East Coast. Remember, if you're in the car right now, honk that horn, tell them to turn the Breaking Command ENT and check this live program out because you're gonna wanna see the guest that we're about to have on. I'm about to bring the guest up in a minute, but I told you guys when I tweeted it out, I said we're gonna have a special guest, alumni Washington Redskin in the building to talk about this season and to talk about playoff football. And I hit Rio up early this week. I was like, bro, I think we got a guest, man. I think we got a guest. He was like, my
Let's
man,
do
that
it.
should sound good. And then
Let's
I,
do
I
it.
hit the guest up, and he was like, yeah. He's like, I'll definitely come on the program. He's a friend of the Breaking Command brand. And I was like, yeah, come on the show. So I called up my partner, my man. I like to call him AAA, Anthony Armstrong in the building. AAA, what's up,
What
baby?
up, baby? I'm glad I got to hang out with y'all for once. I always see the other streams, and I said, I got to get on there one time. And they got to let me hang out. I'm glad it's playoff football associated with it. And we ain't talking the off season yet. We still got work to do. We got a couple months of football left.
Oh,
How y'all
man.
doing, man?
I'm lovely right now. Playoff football. This season has been a dream, man. Like I've been a fan. I'm 33 years old. It was my birth year the last time we won 11 games, man.
Wow.
I'm happy to. I'm more than happy to be here, though. I want to see us go out and get one this weekend.
Might as well. I mean, you got everything laid out in front of you. This team has no worry. They ain't worried about who's up there. They know what they got in the building. They got 5 under center, and they got a whole bunch of dogs. You got 23 coming back. I love the matchup, really. Because if you think about it like this, Washington has changed more than Tampa has changed from week 1 till now. And Washington has really moved their way up the ranks and what power rankings are. And Tampa's kind of had to go have some up and down. So I love this matchup right now. And I'm excited to see them take command of those cannons.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Of course, welcome to the program. Anthony Armstrong, former Washington Redskin alumni, was here earlier this year to visit. First of all, Anthony, man, let me ask you, man, before we get into this playoff game, man. Also, you still host the Believe in Commanders podcast.
Bingo.
And also, everybody that's listening down in the Texas area, okay, make sure you hit him up if you need some real estate in the DFW area. He is the guy, man. He catches the passes from the quarterback, and he will catch you a new home. So make sure you pull up on him right out here in DFW, man. But Anthony, man, let's talk about this season real quick and chop it up. You came here earlier this year for the alumni event. First off, talk about how much the program has changed since you've been here in 2012. Talk about how much the program has changed since then, man.
Man, night and day difference. Now I have to give credit where it's due. In Ron Rivera's last season, I was able to take a tour with the family around the facility. And I told the guy giving the tour then, I was like, this wouldn't have happened like a year or two ago. And he was like, yeah, it probably wouldn't have. So things started turning a little bit earlier. Everybody rags on Ron Rivera. The man was going through a hell of a lot of things off the field, let alone trying to lead a football team. So it started there, but once that ownership changed, man, everything's been different. Former players are coming back, like they're excited to come back, and people are putting on the burgundy of gold again, walking out in public. My phone's blowing up every time Jaden and the team does something special. They're like, man, these Commanders, these Redskins, they look nice. And I'm like, yeah, I know. Come on this bandwagon if you want to.
So as a player here in the midst of all the turmoil and off-season kind of circus-like atmosphere over the year, did y'all feel that as players, or is it just so work-oriented? It's your job that you don't even really pay attention to all that. That's not your problem.
Now, you try not to pay attention, Rio, but look, the media does their job. They're going to ask you about it. You're still like, I got to focus what's on the field. I'm focused on the opponent. But it gets annoying to have to ask about federal investigations and ownership changes and stuff. I don't know nothing about that. We're focused on cover 2, cover 3, and getting our routes correct, right? You asking me about what's going on with something that's outside of my pay grade. Now they get to talk about football. And this is the way it's supposed to be. So you really get to enjoy the game and see this team thrive.
Checking in right now with AAA, Anthony Armstrong, former Washington Redskin wide receiver. It's 5:11 on the East Coast, Friday, January the 10th, and we are talking about playoff football. We have an extra week of football. Before we actually get into the game, Anthony, I want to ask you about like the trust factor with Jaden, right? One thing that people have said when watching Jaden Daniels is that he performs like he's a veteran. He performs like he's been in the league. And one thing you can see is the trust factor that he has with his receivers and the connection that he has. Talk about what a quarterback wide receiver relationship really means, especially when you're getting into the crunch time and the thick of things and late game situations or late in the season. What is the relationship like with a good quarterback for you as a receiver?
Man, if you're in tune with that QB, y'all are speaking languages without even having to talk, right? Just a little wink of the eye. You know how, as melanated individuals, we kind of give each other a look and we know what we're trying to say to each other. Same thing happens with a quarterback and a receiver. I mean, hell, I think about when I was with Rex. He would look at me in the huddle and call a play, and I'm like, "Oh, you throwing it to me?" Regardless of what you called, you throwing it to me. So I feel like Jaden has that same relationship with Terry a little bit. I mean, you see any big down, who's he going to? 17. He knows Terry's gonna make a play, and having that trust in your guy, you can just throw it out there and let him make you right. I mean, it's beautiful to see those things happen, and you don't see that all the time. The quarterback has to trust the receiver to be where he's supposed to be, and then vice versa. The receiver has to trust that quarterback to make that throw. So it seems like all the work in the offseason, locking the door at 5 a.m., extra routes, talking to the vets after plays in OTAs about how they want the route run and what are they going to do. He got those things cleared up first. Right? I was listening to an interview I did with Blake Ruffino. He covers LSU. He was telling me all about just how Jaden handled his business in his not senior, but a Heisman year with Brian Thomas and Malik Neighbors. He was like, there were concerts that were going on 6:30 p.m. and they were in the lab working, throwing routes. That's how you develop trust, putting in that extra work, showing up when your quarterback needs you, and it's paying dividends on the field.
You were here in 2012 when RG3 kind of took over the nation, especially this area. What is the difference? Like, you played with Donovan McNabb in 2010. What's the difference between playing with a KG veteran and a kid who's just trying to win over the locker room and understand the speed of the next level?
Man, I think the difference is that you got one guy that's coming in with, over a decade of experience and respect and Donovan McNabb. And then on the flip side, you got a rookie coming in, a little young guy, and he's a Heisman. And I'm talking about Jaden because Robert was a Heisman, trophy winner as well. Yeah. But Jaden, when you saw his approach coming in, he was always saying, I'm just a rookie. I'm just a rookie. I'm just a rookie. And as a vet, you can respect that. You know what I mean? Because you understand, all right, you get that you're just a rookie. You're
Robert
not trying to be
like he was Obama.
Yeah, but his star quickly rose over the season. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And so and he handled it slightly different. And so Jaden has been more of a humble, quiet type. And I think that's how he carries himself. But when he gets on that field, another animal comes out. The teeth come out. He's ready to take it to this defense and tear it apart. And what I love about it, Rio, is he's just like he's so young. He don't know no better. He ain't worried about the past. I don't know. It wasn't even born then. Ain't got nothing to do with me. Yeah, I ain't got nothing to do with me. I'm here to take down the opponent across from me every single week, and y'all gonna have to deal with me. So having that mentality where he has no fear coming into it, shoot, I line up right now. Sign me.
You got a couple more plays in them knees.
17 plays, baby.
I'm not gonna hold you. There have been some times this season we could have used you at Triple A.
Hey, look, while y'all play, I joked earlier in the year, said, "Hey, y'all, I've seen a lot of injuries. I know I'm not playing football. It got a little squirrely too, Rhea. I was like, shoot, I might need to go stretch or something."
Look, I can hear it now. 41-year-old wide receiver Anthony Armstrong returns to Ashburn for practice this week,
making his comeback. He has not played since the team was by its original moniker.
Lord have mercy. God, I'll be an ancient. Me and Jamison Crowder, the only two players on the field from that era of the organization. But hey, let me get out. I'd run around a little bit, man. Let me make it. Let me get my 13 back, though.
You might get that back, man. You might be able to give him a little bit, man. You're here live with Anthony Armstrong, former Washington Redskins wide receiver, 5'16" on the East Coast. Yes, checking in right now on the afternoon kick as we're going live for your drive. Anthony, man, of course, man, I was so happy that you could be here, man, to talk about playoff football before this week's playoff game. But I want to go back to something I saw on social media. One thing this team has done for everyone is kind of put us all on edge. You see videos of everybody getting excited after big plays. You see everybody on their hands and knees praying for a big play to happen. And there was a couple times where I saw you on the feed, and I think you was in your playroom, in the kids' playroom, just going nuts after a play. And it's funny because what people don't get to see is that y'all are fans just like us. And it feels like the alumni that's been brought back, it feels like they're more locked in now with this team more than ever. Man, talk about how exciting this team has been for you specifically as an alumni player and how this team has really captivated you this season.
Man, they from welcoming us back in as alum, and then having the on-field success, right? Because I mean, I've covered the team for 3 years doing the podcast, and I've cheered for them, and it sucks coming back having to break down a loss and all of that. But now you're getting that on-field success, and it's like, oh shoot! Now you proudly wearing your stuff. You proud to say, hey, I wore the burgundy and gold. I don't have to answer. I'm answering federal questions down here in Texas. I don't have to answer that stuff. We talking about winning now, man. And what I've been impressed with the most about this team, and this is what I always look for in teams, especially when they get into the playoffs, is what type of adversity have you overcome? I'm not tripping about, no disrespect to Detroit, explosive offense, but in the same breath, the Patriots went 17, 18, and it was running the gamut and still dropped the big one. You get what I'm saying? New York overcame some adversity in those seasons. So when you watch Washington, man, they won 7 or 8 different ways. Offense don't show up. Defense does their thing. Offense has 5 turnovers. The defense shuts them down in the second. Like, they've won so many different ways. And in the past, you know that you would find a way for this team to lose. They would find a way to do it. It'd have to be everything has to align to get the victory. Now it's like, shoot, show up and do what you know you can do, and you can get a dub. And it's been so exciting to be a part of that. I mean, I really haven't ever cheered for a team like ever in life, even the ones I've been on. But after leaving and seeing this team and then reconnecting with the fans, I'm locked in, man. I'm locked in. I'm loving it, and I'm hopeful for a couple more months of football.
And I call those moments you were just speaking of Washington moments, because for so long in the majority of my fan life here, it's certain moments in a game and they become insurmountable and they stack up like one long slippery slope of bad events for the team. Now we're surviving the Washington moment and still prevailing. 3 losses in a row, that would have tucked our season in most years in the past. 3 losses in a row, 5 turnovers in a game. We should have been getting dog walked, but we still come down and win the game. They're the cardiac commanders, and I'm here for the ride. Hook up yourself to an EKG machine on Sunday because this team gonna get your blood pressure and your heart rate up.
Hey, I'm telling you, might not want to do that because you'll be on that commercial. I've fallen and I can't get up.
First question is, but did we win though? Did we get the dub? We got the dub. That's what matters at the end of the day. That's what matters at the end of the day.
We've accumulated haters. We have haters now. Like, that's a different world. Now, Eagles fans, everything we do, they have something to say about it now because they sense that the tide is turning.
Oh, yeah, that tide is turned. They about to potentially have a new head coach. They're going to have some change and turnover up there. But I love the fact that, hey, you get to sit back in this division and just let everybody else have their dumpster fire going on while we get to enjoy our comfort in our eventual success.
Stability.
Stability.
It's funny you say that, Anthony, because it's like, it's like sitting at the card table, man. And sometimes, all times you just dealt the cards and you have to play them. And you just watch how those other teams are handling their deck of cards, right? And you're just seeing that some of them just, no matter how good the hand is, they can't get the books, man. Like they just got issues, man. And you're seeing that revolving in the NFC East. But it feels like, man, we just staying packed. It feels like, it feels like we went bored and we was able to get 5 books. You know what I'm saying? Like we had that possible really came through. You know what I'm saying?
He's referencing spades, if y'all were wondering. He's referencing spades.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For all our counterparts that aren't aware, I'm talking about spades. That's where spade is the winning suit, regardless of what's going on. We'll have another episode to talk about that later.
If we go have a spades reference, I got to know how the hell do the Giants let one of their best cards walk? They let that one walk.
No, not just one. The defensive player of the year candidate and Xavier McKinney too. They let an MVP candidate and defensive player of the year candidate go in one offseason.
The big joker and the little joker just vanished.
Both jokers.
Like, how does that happen? You know which one you like? Is the big joker the guarantee or is the color one? Which one?
They let both jokers out the building for free, no compensation at all.
Crazy, bro. Nah, that's not. It's not a good look. But you know what? Hey, woe is life. That's on them. It doesn't matter. We're about us. We got football this weekend, Anthony, and we're playing against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, who we got our first loss to this season. And you mentioned something earlier when you first came on the program, and you said we're a completely different ball club than we were that first week. Everybody is on board. They're picking us. But from a player's perspective, what do you actually see that's different or that the team will do this time versus how they played and performed the first week against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers?
Man, I mean, you go back to week 1, it looked like a young team going up against a veteran team. I mean, you look at, number 1 overall pick, Baker Mayfield, with a Hall of Fame receiver outside and Mike Evans with another dog on the other side. I mean, they looked the part. And frankly, you come out there a little bit slow and you don't trust everybody. But as this team settled down and grew throughout the year, they've won multiple ways, like I mentioned already. So now they get to come in there with confidence. And the one thing that you always hear about Jaden is that he's a preparer.
Yeah,
he got tape. He got that first game, and he got the whole season to look at.
and nobody has beaten us twice. That's the key too, man.
I ain't even think about that.
Yeah.
But Jaden is so smart with this. Going back to that previous interview, he goes in that little VR room and they load up all the content. Yep. He can see different looks. He can see different combinations and when throwing in what Cliff is going to do. The man he's going to play this game before he plays the game. You get what I'm saying? He plays the game first, mentally, before he gets out there on the field. That's why he can be so calm, cool, and collected. He has a whole season of evidence and work that he can study to go into this matchup. So if there's anything new that comes from Tampa Bay, it's new to them as well. And there's one thing that coach used to always say: if it's new to them, if it's new to us, it's new to them. We've watched everything, and that means there could be busted coverages in the hay. But I go back and I look at those teams, the games against the second game against the Eagles, and then that second game against the Falcons. The defense just absolutely, they broke a table in the locker room, like I've been saying on Twitter. Go get the tables. They done broke a table and came out with their hair on fire. I don't think they need to do that against Tampa. Don't wait that late. But if they do, I still feel confident that they're going to come out with some fire in that second half and give that offense a chance to catch up and score some points if they need to be in that situation.
Yeah, Baker had them cannons going off all day first week of the season. He got to do whatever we want. We had pressure on him, but we couldn't force him to throw an incompletion or get him down for a sack. He was maneuvering like Superman in the pocket. We were in his hip pocket, but couldn't get him down. The difference between them then and now, no Chris Godwin, but Jalen McMillan has come on as a really good rookie receiver. But Bucky Irvin, Washington has been struggling to stop the run. We're talking about a rookie who didn't even start the whole season with 1,100 yards and 8 touchdowns. How does Washington get its run defense back? Like, it shows up like in the second half of the Eagles and Falcons game, like you just said. How do they get a complete performance of slowing down the run?
Man, ironically, I'm going to name a cornerback out of this. I'm naming Marshawn Lattimore because it unlocks Jeremy Chin for you, okay? Yep. The matchup between Marshawn and Mike Evans has been, frankly, pretty favorable to Marshawn's, favor. He's held him to under 3 catches and about 50-some-odd yards in each matchup. Most recently, 2 catches for 34 yards in October when they squared off. So I like that matchup, knowing that I can send Lattimore over there and bring Jeremy Chin into the box. Now you're going to force Tampa Bay to make a decision. Do we run into an unfavorable box, or do they have to try to go and throw the ball around? And you mentioned Frozone, number 0, the other rookie that's getting Defensive Player of the Week, Mike Sainristil. He's going to probably be following around Jalen McMillan. That's going to be his matchup, and I like how he's been performing all year. So how do you stop the run? You got to go and make them run into some unfavorable situations, and then, frankly, run up that offense. And then Bucky Irving doesn't end up being that much of an impact. Right now, they have to start to throw the ball more if you start to score some points on offense. So show up fast, show up violent, and put touchdowns on the board. Don't go with these field goals because you got to put Tampa on their heels early. They're an offense that wants to go with fast pace and try to put some points on the board, make them work from behind for once.
Absolutely.
And to add to what you just said as well, we need Allen and Payne to look like Allen and Payne. I need the law firm open on Sunday night, man.
Please. Anybody up front, you know what I mean? Armstrong, Fowler, all y'all. Newton, I need everybody to eat. Apply pressure to Baker Mayfield. Frankly, I mean, he'll give up some sacks. He'll get sacked 4 or 5 times, but that doesn't stop him from being a gunslinger. But if you can get them behind the sticks and limit these big plays, it's going to be really favorable for the squad.
Absolutely. Live right now on the Afternoon Kick with Rio Robinson, myself, Darren D.H. Williams, and Anthony Armstrong, former Washington Redskin wide receiver. And Anthony, we will have some questions from the chat. But before we get to that, I want to ask you a question for myself personally. One thing that has been mentioned, 2 things that have been mentioned, actually, the ability by Adam Peters to get the roster flipped over, and then the ability by Jaden Daniels to really change the dynamic on the field. But talk about right now, this point in the season, what a Dan Quinn type coach is going to do for this team, and what you've seen from a player's perspective as to how Dan Quinn has really affected the guys in the locker room this season.
Man, I think Dan Quinn has been placed in the perfect situation with the supporting cast of coaches that he doesn't necessarily have to go and focus on the X's and O's on each side of things. Well, he's mentioned one of the things he loves the most is leading men, right? And getting the most out of his players. And frankly, listening to him to talk every single week, it gets me hyped. I ain't even playing in the game. I'm just going through Monday through Friday. And I'm like, damn it, Dan Quinn, you got me ready to go. Right. He's able to get these young team needs to have some guidance to, hey, bring you back down from those high moments. Let's focus. Let's get back to the process. He's been to the Super Bowl. And if you think that he has not learned from 28-3, if you think that he has not learned from that entire process, then you're mistaken. I think you're seeing his lessons, the past 3 years as a DC and watching other people be a head coach and being able to think on the past. Now he understands how he would approach the playoffs. He understands how to get his team going again, and I read the article by John Keim that was covering Cliff Kingsbury, and he's talking about how he's seen how Dan Quinn set the tone and the tempo early. Yep. And he continued to get back to that. I read this book. It's about Nick Saban's leadership skills and his tips. And we talk about the process. And I feel like Dan Quinn is going in there with a process every single week, getting his offense back on their P's and Q's, get their defense on their P's and Q's with one goal in mind, showing up and being the best person that you can. And damn it, Dan, he's going to have these kids ready to play, man. I promise you he is.
I was wondering, as an offensive player, does leader of men versus like X's and O's wizard, which type of coach resonates with you more?
A head coach, you just got to be a leader of men. I don't necessarily need my head coach breaking down X's and O's. That's what the offensive coordinator is for, and sometimes when you think about hiring coaches, when they hire offensive wizards to go be head coaches, they usually struggle with like the play calling duties. They don't want to give it away, and that's what they love to do. Cliff is in the position where he gets to call plays. He loves doing that. He calling plays and building relationships. He don't have to worry about the defense, So whatever's going to make this team the best, this is probably the best makeup. I can see that, somebody that's in charge of the full 53 and then let everybody else be the lieutenants is going to get the most out of everybody rather than, hey, let me go install the defense and then come over here and try to handle what the quarterback's going through. And then, no. Let's separate everything and delegate it, because frankly, I don't, let me say this. Mike Shanahan didn't call out nan play. Yeah. Okay. Kyle Shanahan was in there breaking things down. All right. So I don't need Dan Quinn bringing down plays. He's continuing to lead this squad and get him in the right direction.
And I feel like Dan Quinn might be a student body right type of coach. Student body right, student body left. He might run his plays out of the pro set. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he did. He just gonna let everybody be great at what they do. And I think that the beautiful thing is that whenever you are allowed and you feel comfortable enough to be authentic, and I think that's something that everybody's dealing with now in life, is just how can you be your full authentic self and go out there and just have fun, play fast? Shoot, man, if you're doing that, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. You shouldn't have to go out there thinking about overthinking your game plan or your route and just having to play all tense. Play stress-free, play carefree, because they put in the work, right? That's the one thing that you can tell. Yeah. They put in the work, so then you can go out there and play fast and be confident about it and just execute. Just play football and have fun with it.
Yeah. As MJ said, the ceiling is the roof. Anthony, before you get out of here, man, I want to get a fan question, and then we'll get a game prediction from you on the way out. And y'all are listening right now to the Afternoon Kick with Rio and myself, Darren D.H. Williams, and we have Anthony Armstrong here, former Washington Redskins wide receiver. And Anthony, this is from Paul in the chat. Shout out to Paul. He said, give me one X factor on offense, one X factor on defense. And I'm going to add a caveat to that, man. Give me your score prediction too, man, with that.
Ooh, scores are tough, man. Scores are tough. The X factor on defense, I mentioned Lattimore, but I'm gonna still go with Jeremy Chin. I'm gonna still go with him, because I think if he's going to be able to, affect the run game and change some things there, maybe force a turnover, because he's been striking people. Yeah, my gosh, I've been like jumping every time he hits somebody because it's been physical. If he's able to force a turnover and shut down the run and maybe make some plays in pass coverage, I think that's going to be helpful for this team. I think that everybody else will still show up, but I'm looking for Jeremy to make some plays, impactful plays on the defensive side. On the offense, man, I said it on my show. I want to see a return of Brian Robinson. I want to see a return of the Brian Robinson. Yeah. All right. These past couple of weeks, it's been a little tentative. It's been like, hey, I fumbled it. I don't want to play carefree. Protect the football like you know how, but drop the load on somebody. Be that dog, man. Be who you are. You know what I mean? Don't worry about it. Look, it ain't but 1 week of football left.
That's it.
It's 1 week of football left. Go out there, put it out there on the in between the lines, in between the paint, and then let's leave it how it is. But I need Brian Robinson to show back up and be the physical player that he is. I would love to see a 100-yard game. I know Tampa's it's a solid defense, but I need Brian Robinson to be a physical impact on this one.
This ain't the week to hold anything back, man. You only got 1 week left, man. And how do you see it shaking out? I know you got us with the dub, and I know scores are hard, but how do you see it shaking out, man? Do you see a close game? Do you see a boat race? Do you see a WNBA score? What, 69, 67? Like, what you got?
Whew, Lordy, I'm looking like 34-27 Washington. Because it's gonna be some points scored. I don't know. Is just Jamel Dean in there? Is Jamel Dean playing for them? I know one of their corners was out.
I believe so.
I think they're good. I know Zion McCullum's going to be the one in front of Terry, and Antoine Winfield is going to be playing on the back end of that defense as well.
Okay, so everybody's coming back. All right.
So, yeah, I think on both sides, all hands on deck for the most part.
All hands on deck. I mean, it's going to be some point. It'll be a close one. Now, is it? I don't think it's going to be a shootout from like the first quarter. It's going to probably be a slugfest, because in the playoffs, everybody's still trying to they don't want to give up that big play. They got to stay in it. So in that first half, it could be a good 10 to
filling out period like the beginning of a boxing match.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But then you make your second half adjustments, and that's been great for this team, frankly, these past few weeks. And coming off of they're 5 weeks off of a bye week, they 5-game winning streak. The only team to coming into the playoffs with this 5-game winning streak, I think Baltimore has 4. So they're in a good position right now. I think they're rolling well. They can make some adjustments in the second half and run up some points, man. But what else y'all got on the fan question?
I got somebody.
They said, can you still hit that Dougie, man?
Yeah. You already know it, man. You already know I hit that Dougie. The knees bad. I've been practicing. I've been lifting a little bit, so I've been adding a couple little pieces to the Dougie. Maybe you'll catch it. We get this dub. It'll be on Twitter this week.
He can hit that junk when they put that Jello ball on after the victory.
Yeah. You gotta, but you know what? Now, as you get older, you gotta adjust. It gotta be the old man Dougie. You know what I'm saying? Hit it, slow down a little bit.
It's still fresh now. I'm gonna just be me. It's still gonna be fresh.
I got another one for you, man. Comasel Brown said, for Anthony, do you think Eckler would be more involved in this game?
I think you got to find a way to mix him in. I mean, he is a playmaker. He brings you that screen game. That first matchup, him and B-Rob led the team in receptions and yards. I don't want that. Right? But having Austin on some key explosives to get the ball away from Brian, because right now, I want him to be physical. Let Austin be that lightning guy, but still hit those big plays downfield to Terry and Diami.
Yep, let's see. Here we go. Got some more. I'll go with this one. From your time with the Redskins, what was holding Washington back from the most from succeeding? Even though that's not a current thing, but
that's a good question, man. Because you go back and they continually show that roster of all those great coaches. Yeah. Man, it was just, I don't know. It just felt like we always had something that was off. Like one
from the top down.
Yeah, hard. But I can only speak from like on the field. Like I felt like we had good rosters and good teams, but once again, we talk about those Washington moments, the old Washington moments where a bad play would happen and then stuff would just kind of snowball on you. And that's what a lot of time what would happen. And you wouldn't able to fight back out of that. And man, I can't say guys quit or nothing like that. It was just like sometimes it gets insurmountable. The ball doesn't bounce your way. Yeah. And I mean, frankly, there's probably some ineptitude and some ignorance that were going on with some places, but
a little bit.
There's some spots. But I mean, my path to the league, I'm ultimately thankful just for even having made it. You know what I mean? Undrafted, missing a year, playing arena, working my way up from Odessa, Texas, to the Arena League to practice squad in Miami, just to get to the field and play in Washington. I ain't give a damn. I don't care.
As long as you got there.
Yeah, I was there, and I was so I was out there I was grinding every single time. But I mean, you saw teammates that was laying down on the field, and you couldn't get people motivated, and like it was very disjointed. The way that Dan is doing it now, I would love to be in the locker room now. You know what I mean? I would love to be on this team.
Yeah, I got a few more questions. I'm, of course, everybody ain't here, but they've been texting me. They
Yeah.
said if Jaden doesn't perform to his elite level, who else can you expect to take over and provide that? Let me see what exactly they said. They said if Jaden doesn't perform to an elite level,
We in trouble.
who could that part? But who can step up and take over and give us that game winning type performance? I know you said B-Rob, you want to run in 100 yards, but is there anybody else that can kind of take that mantle if Jaden is not having if he's having a pedestrian performance this week?
Man, that's so tough to say because I mean he is literally the guy that determines where the ball goes. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Yeah, like if he's not accurate, ain't nobody else gonna make it. Yeah,
we're cooked.
Yeah, you can't be any. Your arms ain't getting no longer. Like you can. It's. I'll say this: if you aren't getting open, you got to find a way to get open, or you have to find a way just to make the contested plays. That may be where it is, right? Like make the play for me. Like they aren't letting me scramble as much as I have the past few weeks. So you're gonna have to
need some yak.
Need some yak and need some contested catches. All that stuff last week where they were dropping balls. Scrap that. Scrap that. Like when you get the reverse pass in the end zone, you got to take advantage. So who needs to step up? Everybody. You can't.
I can't have 17 having a pedestrian game either.
No.
We can't 2 catches for 17 yards like we did last time versus Tampa. We can't do that.
He needs to get two or three targets, and we need to get a first down, first drive. I need Terry to get a couple of catches on that first drive.
And that's all pro Terry McLaurin.
Starter at all pro. Yeah, put that in there. I used to say all pro Jeremy Reeves. You got to say all pro Terry McLaurin.
All pro Terry McLaurin.
That specific request by you, Anthony, sounds like a prop bet that may have been. I need Terry to get a first down on the first drive so he can cover that.
Well, I mean, but seriously though, like just thinking about the flow of the game. Right, you're on the road. It's gonna be loud. It's gonna be smoky because they've been popping cannons and fireworks and stuff. They're gonna defer. They're gonna kick it off to you. All right, what you gonna do? You either 3 and out, and then the crowd is still raucous. You got to punt it. Now they starting off at come out there, get your first down. Now you get the momentum to calm down a little bit. Put that no huddle drive together like you have been doing all season. And put the ball in the end zone. Now you really start to take control of things. You command the cannons.
There we go. And I got one more and then we'll let you go, man. I know you're up against it, but I got one more about Uptown Dre. He said, should we run straight at Vita or around the big joker?
Man, look, Vita Vea is a problem.
Using a spade reference.
Vita Vea is a problem. Shoot, man. I wouldn't run right at him, hell. Because you can't move him. He's a mountain of a man.
Yeah.
He's a mountain of a man, but you know what can help? No huddle. You're gonna get tired.
Yeah.
You're gonna have to get tired. So when we talk about this, you have to be efficient with your downs. Okay. Yeah. First down, you gotta get 3-4 yards, right? And then second down, you gotta find your way into third and short. If you can get into third and short, now your playbook opens up. All right. And then you go in no huddle, you can take Vita out of the game. But if you try to run it right at him and you get 0, now we 2nd and 10. Mm-hmm. And if you get that incompletion, or you get 3 yards, now you 3rd and 7. I don't like that situation. You know what I mean? So find ourselves in favorable positions. I'll worry about running that Vita when we up by a couple touchdowns. We trying to run out the clock.
That's a fact.
Absolutely. Anthony, we appreciate you for locking in with us, man, on the Afternoon Kick, the first playoff edition of the Afternoon Kick. Of course, Anthony, tell everybody where they can. Well, I'll give the real estate plug. But if you're in DFW and you need some real estate, you want your first home, you want a rental property, you want anything, hit up Anthony Armstrong, and he'll get you straight in the DFW area and surrounding areas. But where else can everybody find you, Anthony?
Man, hit me up at Rated Armstrong on X, on really everywhere else. I've changed it to that. So hit me up there and listen to Believe in Commanders podcast on all your favorite streaming platforms.
We love that. Anthony, man, appreciate you, man. I'm hoping this can be a thing, man. I'm hoping maybe next week we can have you back on, man. Because listen, let me tell you, if we win this week, I'm not changing nothing. I'm doing everything the exact same way as we did this week.
Eat the same meals, wash. I got my sweatshirt in the laundry now. I'm gonna have it ready for Sunday, and then I'll put it on before the game because hey, it's been working so far. But we just gonna roll with that. Yeah, for sure. Triple A, man, appreciate you for being on, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit him up at Rated Armstrong, man. Anthony, I'll holler at you.
Make sure you stretch before that Dougie on Sunday.
I'll be ready, man. I'll be ready. Y'all just tune in.
There we go. Sir. Absolutely. All right, later. Rio, man, what a treat, brother.
That was fire, bro.
What a treat, man.
That
Anthony
was fire.
Armstrong,
I
former
enjoyed
Washington Redskin,
Mhm.
wide receiver. And he had him here to talk about the playoffs. And essentially, bro, this is it, man.
Yes, sir, bro.
This is do or die, or not
It's
do or
go
die. It's
time.
do or don't, man. It's go
Yeah.
time. Real quick before we get out of here, man. What's your prediction for this Sunday, man? I know we're
20
gonna win, but by how much, man?
27-24. We're going to be nail biter at the edge of our seats. Jaden's going to take us down for a touchdown, down 24-20. We're moving on to the second round. I don't care who it is. We out here. Dub.
Hey, I love that too, man. I definitely think we're gonna get the dub this week. I don't know about how much. I think it will be a close game, but I think it may be a 6-point game. I think we may go like 33-20, what's it, 33-27, something like that. I think we have a touchdown at the end to kind of lock it up. But regardless, man, that's it, man. You got any more shows before Sunday?
We might get a little something out here on Saturday, but you
Okay.
know, at some point Sunday, I'm gonna hit live and we going live to the end of the day. And boy, don't let us win, because I'll probably go live until the sun comes up the next day. Hopefully, we're not snowed in this weekend, but I think we might get a little wintry mix tomorrow. So
Yeah, man, we love that, man. 5:43 on the East Coast, the afternoon kick. We had rated Armstrong, Mr. Anthony Armstrong, on the program. We about to wrap this thing up, man. Make sure y'all like, subscribe, run this back, and check it out. But it's playoff football weekend, man. I hope you guys enjoy yourself, enjoy all the games, make your wagers responsibly, and of course, the Commanders are gonna try to go out there on Sunday Night Football, waiting all day for a Sunday night. And, you know, that's it. That's what we're gonna do, bro. Then we need a go-go version of that.
oh yeah,
That'd be dope.
Hey, somebody gotta hit the go-go of that Jello bowl,
Hey,
man. I'm up
hey,
to
bro,
that corner. Whoa,
hey,
whoa.
hey,
Hey. That's gonna go crazy, right?
Hey, I'm waiting. Somebody I'm pretty sure it's in the works right now. Somebody's hitting that joint.
Somebody gotta get the go-go to that joint,
pull it up.
man.
Hey, but you know what?
Hitting that corner. Whoa, whoa. Hey, let's get it, man.
Hey, man, we about to get out of here, man. Of course, chat, we appreciate you. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you subscribe to Rio Robinson's YouTube page. And you subscribe to Breaking Command ENT. And of course, make sure you pull up next week for the afternoon kick. You never know who we might have on. You just never know. So you got to pull up, turn the notifications on, and find out who we got. But for my partner in crime, Rio Robinson, I'm Darian D.H. Williams. Let's get a Commanders victory in the wild card playoff game this Sunday night against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We'll catch you on the flip side, man. Peace.
Hey, why not?